that starts to come on, you start to look around. I want what you're doing. You had got you some bluegills today.
Here's where we get to fish to a private lake. Work on some restocking. Gonna take the fish back to my place and get our last chance in here before he sells the property. You can see our setup here with the tote. Already got the bluegills in there. We're running pure oxygen, 100% oxygen from a cylinder. We got antibiotics, antifungal, and other stuff in there, salt for the electrolytes and all that, so the fish can absorb that after being caught and stay healthy while they're being transported. Using crickets, almost everything we caught in here was close to a pound, if not over a pound. Big bluegill, that was our focus. Over a 2-day span of fishing, caught over 100 of these large bluegill to take back to my property and put them in the backyard. As fast as we could put those in, the crickets in the water, we were pulling out a bluegill. I mean, we could have brought a cane pole, would have probably been the best thing to use here for how much we were going through. It was one after another. I had my buddy Ernie there fishing with me, and he couldn't believe it. It's a lot better than fishing at the Swanee, but it's coming into spring, so they're going to be spawning here in about a month. They're all going to be fattening up, and they're hitting everything. Again, the target was the bluegill. We weren't trying to get bass or anything like that, and this is to bring it back to my place, so that way they're going to have a lot of offspring this spring and during the summertime, and they're going to supplement what we already have in there and grow my bass to a much larger size. I do have a couple in there that I know are over 12 pounds. Want to get a lot more in there and want to get those 12 pounders up over 13, 14, 15 pounds. So the only way to do that is bigger feed, which means bigger bluegill. Trying to get a last bit of fishing in here because he does plan on selling this piece of property. It is up for sale. It is 50 surface acres, anywhere from 25, 30 foot deep to over 50 feet deep. It's an old quarry. It feeds to the Floridan aquifer. The water down below, about 15, 20 feet down, stays the same temp all year long. Water's fairly clear. We just had that cold front that came in, so it stirred some stuff up, changed a little bit of the algae that's in there. But outside of that, I mean, the fish were hitting everything in sight. We had a great time, and we plan on going back. The gentleman that owns this, his goal is to try to catch the largest bass for the state record, if not the world record. We definitely know there's some in there that are over 18 pounds. I've seen them during electro fishing. Nobody ever fishes this lake. It is private completely all the way around. He owns everything around the lake, and he just has friends come over and fish, or he fishes. He used to. Look, we got one that got away here. My hands were tore up after fighting with these bluegills. So real quick, one thing that we do is we either pinch the barb on the hooks or we fish with barbless hooks. And that way, so it doesn't tear them up, because again, our goal is to get these back to my property alive and healthy, so they're ready to go. But in about a month and a half, we're going to be coming back here. We're going to be doing bass. There's another one I lost. We're going to be doing nothing but bass fishing, trying to find that largest state record, if not world record, bass in this water. I've received some big ones a few years back when we were doing some shocking for my house, and they're definitely 20 plus pounders in here all day long, if not bigger. There's plenty of food in here, no predators. They hang out deep, and it's a lot of fun.
I'm doing them at the shop. I'm gonna lock the door and tell them nobody's allowed in the house. And if I offend them, I offend them. If I don't, great. Yeah,
the
it's
live
gonna-
bait we would allow here was anything that's caught out.
But I might change it to tomorrow night. Just to
Well, we can't pull lures. though.
kind of give her some rest, you know what I mean? But Dr. Khan said that he don't think she's even coming home today. Yeah. He said if she don't feel right,
Nope.
she's staying home.
People haul couches, lose them, never find them. And then they get somewhere and they don't have a cushion for their couch. There you go. So you come to Dave's and you get luxury. We're a 5-star fishing resort. All right, guys, when you're out fishing,
Okay.
I'm going to take the plywood off the dock. I'm going to put straps. I've got some straps I'm going to screw to the dock to hold the drums in. And before you leave, we're putting the dock in the water. Okay. We might put that boat in. Okay. I don't know if I want to fix the transom. I got to put a new piece of 2x on the transom and raise it 2 inches. That's too low. We might leave it there. But next time you come out, like you camp out, we'll put that boat in the water, put that board back on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the tin would be good for that. Yeah. Put around.
Well, you weren't here before we used it. I'm gonna talk to Dave. I'm thinking maybe we'll leave the 2 seats, but we cut these 2 consoles down. Either that, or we might actually use that boat there that has the big deck on the front that you can stand up on. This one behind us over here with the tractor motor. Nail it a bit.
Wow, that's a big one you just caught there.
That's beauty. That's a dinner. A couple of those for dinner. So you guys gonna have a New Year's fish?
Yeah, better. Punch bar. Oh, no.
You guys are knocking them down.
Sounds good.
Yeah, pull in there and shop. Get that 50 to come over here, Nick. I open the gate, pull in there, and hey, guess what? 2 people go. Pull it in real fast, like, through the gate. Hey, want something, I'm like.
You tell them that we're not open?
Yeah, I told him one room was not closed, it was not open, and then the other one was Chubby, you know, the gate man or whatever.
Yep.
And I swapped 2 tanks with him. We'll have to charge him for a 125, 70, 25, and whatever the one right on the smaller than that, 40 or whatever.
See how easy that one was, Ernie? I didn't even have to fuck with it. Came right off.
Do it now?
Oh, I was talking to Ernie.
Oh.
He said the fish came right off on its own. Right into the bucket.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, right into the bucket.
Yeah.
so you enjoying yourself?
Well, trying to.
So you think you might have busted water pipes at the house?
Well, no, I don't think so, but I just want to rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, I don't think so at all because nothing burst when the one did freeze,
Yeah.
and it didn't get as cold.
It ain't been that cold since you
No,
left
I'm
there.
saying, well, even when we left, I mean, the low was only like 22, 23.
Yeah. It didn't stay that cold that long either, so.
No, it wasn't that 8 degrees. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the shop here and I'll run over there and make sure you ain't got water running everywhere.
all right, man, I appreciate you.
Yeah. That's why I'm charging.
After we get about 5 or 6, maybe 7 bluegill in the 5-gallon bucket, I run it up and I put it inside the bin where we're using them to transport. You see they just one after another coming out, and like I said, this was a lot of fun. May not seem fun because it's so easy, but when you rarely experience that, it's a lot of fun.
right back. Let me
Of
know
course,
I come
during
over.
this time, I was on vacation. My buddy stopped over from working. He owns a business locally. And anytime
Man.
I say, you want to go fishing, he makes that hour or two time to pop off of work for a little bit and go fishing. And something like this here,
Sounds
it's
good.
a lot of fun. We had, most of them came back. We had 2 or 3 where they swallowed the hook, pulled the hook out. They weren't going to make it. They go in the bucket, another bucket, and that's what's going to be for dinner.
You're doing a typical day. Yeah, get in there and fill buckets out. Come on, Mr. Great. Ah, I see what you got. You fix that hook. A little better fish, all right.
And we're just gonna catch a couple more. As soon as we're done catching just a couple more, we're gonna load them up, head back to my property, start offloading them. We got plenty, 50 to 60 of them in this run, just on this specific trip, which is a lot. We probably knocked that out in less than 40 minutes. That's how abundant they were. You can see here from the first scoop, we're now at my property.
Oh, that's solid all the way to the bottom.
I weighed down that net a lot more than I should have. You can see that's a lot of pounds of bluegill there. You can see the pretty colors on them, the copper on the forehead. Got my boys with me to help unload. They did not go fishing with me on this trip, but they were there ready to watch them release. The lake in my backyard's down probably, you see all the bluegill scattering. My lake's probably down about 9-10 feet just because we haven't had much rain, but that usually turns around in the spring. Well, you know, last year and a half ago, it was flooded. It was well over all the way up to the road. So a little bit of being down doesn't bother us.
Well,
There's
the
plenty
past
of
couple
water
days
in there.
it's been about
I
100.
still got spots in there that are about 20 foot deep. Plenty of room for the fish, plenty of weeds for them to hide in, plenty for these big girls to spawn in. And that's the goal. A lot of spawning, a lot more feed, a lot bigger bluegill, bigger bass. And again, that's our goal, bigger bass. But you see every single one of these scoops, there's a lot of bluegill. We killed it. And again, it was a lot of fun.
Right in with the rest of them. We got lots more.
Like 600 more? About 50?
Yeah. How pretty they look.
There's the cricket.
Cricket came out? Came out of one of the mouths earlier. Some other stuff in there. Just nets. Oh. What else moved around here? Deer carcass in there. keep that down because you got the oxygen running in there.
Just to. Let's see.
Let's do this. Such a real. Alright, take a little aerator out.
Oh,
There's all the medicine in there for the.
fishies.
Yep.
What's the medicine? Oh!
Antifungals, antibiotics. These pretty colors too. Footage here shortly. You not step on the fishing poles?
And I saw a fish.
I bet there's lots in here.
We got some. More. There's 3.
There is more than 3 in there.
There's one. We got
5 in there, homeboy.
We wrap up the remaining bluegill that we caught. As you see, there was a lot of trips, a lot of netfuls, and a lot to help out for the springtime. We come up, double checking for any more, and then I threw some feed out there, and we're gonna get a little check of the underwater so you can see what the life is under there. I think the kids get splashed on this one from pulling them out. Might have been on the previous one.
We're gonna make sure just one more. Then we're gonna dump out.
Making sure we have nothing left. Again, the way we transport these fish and what we use in the water, and obviously the cool temps help, but you know, I'm filling that bucket with 100% oxygen. It's almost impossible for these fish to die, especially since, you know, I'm only traveling 20 minutes once we caught them all. But we'll go ahead and we'll take a look under the water now that we released them all. Threw some feed out there. The water's extremely cold, but they're still eating a little bit. It's gonna warm up fairly quick. As you can see, the abundance of bluegill. The other thing that helps too is we had, as you've seen from the previous video, the dead deer carcass. Cut the head off, put the head with the antlers in the water. The fish have been picking at the meat for the past month since Thanksgiving, and they really enjoy this now because it's hanging off the dock and it's attracted all the bluegill. So they appreciate that. They're enjoying it. There you see the deer. It's almost picked clean. Most people would save the head with the antlers, but we're going to cut the antlers off because you know dogs love antlers. So we're going to do that. But you see, this is my favorite part, is being able to look under the water, see the fish, and the clarity that we have. Our lake is spring fed. It's the top of the aquifer, so it's moving up and down. During this time with the, you know, with the drought going on, not a lot of rain, the farms everywhere around us is nothing but farms. But it's they're pumping a lot of water right now. But I dive in here. I mean, I got videos on here of me scuba diving. Again, even with as low as it is, there's still spots 20 plus feet deep. Even along here, the grass bed If I stepped off and stepped on that, you probably got another 10 to 15 feet below that. Those are just tall strands that make a blanket on the surface. Once you get underneath that, it's basically hollow. And that's where a lot of the bass and other bluegill and larger bluegill and bass actually stay. And it's hard to ever see them until spawning season, and that's when all the big females come out. I appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed the fish, and we got more fishing to come, especially in the springtime when we're just around the corner.